Michael White, noticing New York. This will be a shortened up version of the written testimony I've handed in. As a lawyer, urban planner, and former senior development finance official for the state finance authorities, I can tell you that the need for eminent domain reform is absolutely desperate and will be tricky. The public authorities perpetrating eminent domain abuse are so out of control that everything is topsy-turvy. Almost every crucial concept is taken to mean its opposite. One might think that reforming eminent domain should be as easy as writing into law provisions to say that private property should only be taken for public use or public benefit. But the state and federal constitutions already say public use. And the current eminent domain law statute says that taking should be for a public use, benefit, or purpose. Nevertheless, in New York, eminent domain's principal purpose is now that of putting private property into private hands, and we have public agencies that specialize in delivering vast monopolies to the likes of Columbia University and Forest City Radnor. Columbia wants the exclusive, long-term right to develop 17 acres in West Harlem, adding to the approximately 36 acres it owns further south. Forest City Radnor wants the exclusive, multi-decade right to develop 22 prime Brooklyn acres adjacent to another 8 it has already been given for an expansive 30-acre mega monopoly upon which it is securing the special right to build, in addition to 2 shopping centers and an existing tower, an arena with a total of 19 towers that will create the densest area in the city, the densest area in North America, together with the 17-plus acres of Metrotech and nearby other Brooklyn properties it owns. This will consolidate ownership in Forest City Radnor of more than 50 acres of Brooklyn's most densely zoned and accessible commercial properties, sitting astride our public subway lines. Would legal protection be achieved if laws were written to say that our courts should review whether the state and federal constitutions are observed and whether a public use, benefit, or purpose will be served by the proposed acquisition? No. The eminent domain law already says the courts should review whether there was such a public purpose. But this has been interpreted to mean the reverse, to mean that courts cannot review or question whether these private purpose thefts by eminent domain have a public purpose. Blight is an important word in eminent domain law, but it doesn't mean blight anymore, since the majority of the property in the city now qualifies as blighted, including the home just bought by the Brooklyn Borough president and a home bought by a Forest City Radnor official. Blight now simply means land coveted by a developer. Economic development programs now mean programs that will bring stagnation and blight. I've personally seen the devastation in Kilo's New London, Connecticut. Developers like Columbia and Forest City Radnor covetously target our most vital upcoming neighborhoods, but when these neighborhoods are gifted to them without bid, they don't value the property they have received for its true worth. Valuable properties are torn down, allowed to deteriorate and lie fallow, perhaps being used as parking lots for decades. When the law is so utterly pliable that every word can mean its opposite, we would hope that state officials have the rectitude to be guided by the spirit of the law. Unfortunately, we find that our public officials are even more pliable than the law. Officials at highly political agencies like ESCC are no longer in service to the public. They are part of a crew of privateers, pirates sailing in the developer's boat where the developer's wish is their command. A moratorium is therefore essential. Since these actions involve a kind of collusive theft and sale of public office, we suggest criminal investigation is also in order. While we have submitted many other suggestions for eminent domain reform, we would like to now conclude with one key suggestion. remove the incentive to turn all the concepts upside down. Take the profit out of eminent domain. Private profit is the gasoline that fuels eminent domain abuse. Long ago, when eminent domain really was for public use, the benefit of a lower cost of taking property by eminent domain accrued to the public. Today's private purpose conduit deals are instead designed to channel the windfalls of eminent domain profit directly into private hands without bid, and typically we are seeing devices like tremendous upzonings or density increases special to the developer used to maximize that windfall. We suggest that you eliminate the incentive for turning common sense upside down by making certain that you rigorously erase absolutely all of the private profit windfall. That's the end of what I was going to say orally. I do want to comment on one of the other witnesses' testimony.
Just want you to be brief because we're near the end, and there are some people that still have, need an opportunity to
I heard any of the Laremont counsel to ESDC give you some answers of when PACB review is required and appropriate, and I suggest that you do some further follow-up on those answers that she gave you. I've issued billions and billions of dollars, overseen the issuance of billions and billions of dollars of bonds, and I think you got an inaccurate perspective from what she told you.
Well, we have it on record, so we will obviously be reviewing that part of the testimony. Thank you so much, Ed.